we're falling away. Maybe I just need to feel nothing to make it easier to turn away and leave. Maybe we're fanning the flame, so why do I keep holding out my hand to get burned? I don't wanna clash anymore. I can't hear the ghosts in the walls. It's telling me to run away, away, yeah. I don't wanna crash anymore. I can't hear the ghosts in the walls. It's telling me to run away.
Here in Monza, and it is a race opening victory for Eve. And still battling with Kuba.
You said you don't know me well, but I'm your angel in white. I'll be close if you come, I'll be just behind you. You're not on the list, but I can get you inside. Use your mind, listen to my voices and guide you. Give yourself over, yeah, you don't wanna fight. If you do, I'm gonna bid you
But he's gone wide! He's going incredible!
Take it, you're doing alright. And if you don't trust it, hold it up to the light. So quiet, try to hide it. If a new thought formed, we would swallow it down. Empty stares, never question the illusion. If you play alone, they will leave you to drown. Stand up, 'cause we are the movement. Don't stop, straight into the dark. Wake up, 'cause this is the moment. And every fire starts with a spark. A revolution. Stand up. We are the movement. Don't stop, straight into the dark. Wake up, 'cause this is the moment. Every fire starts with a spark. A revolution.
Feel like we're falling away. Maybe I just need to feel.
Hello, and welcome to FRLT. We are back once again this week for round number 9 of season 6. I'm trying to remember even what race it is. I'm trying to remember what round it is. It's been a week since I last did comms. Sadly couldn't make it on Wednesday, so that's probably why I'm a bit off on timing and everything. But yeah, we are back again, and while I just make this announcement, it is going to be a very it's going to be a very interesting race tonight. Of course, 18-minute qualifying followed by a 50% race, which for tonight is 36 laps. That is how long tonight's race is. Let's have a look through a couple of different things. Let's start off with, of course, the lovely, lovely track map. As you can see, 4.259 kilometers, 2.646 miles, 14 turns, 2 DRS turns down the pit straight and back straight. So quite interesting there. Looking at the calendar as well for this season, we've gone through China, Austria, Imola, Great Britain, Australia. Then we, of course, had the Christmas break, Australia being the final race of 2025. And also round 5 as well. Then round 6, Singapore. Round 7 in Monza. Round 8 in Brazil last week. And now we come to the Netherlands for round number 9. And the start of the final 3 races of the season. Of course, we had assists. I can see already Ethan thoughts on FRLT assists. Zandvoort. I'm best to keep that to DMs, probably. That's best to keep to DMs, if I'm being honest. Otherwise, I'll say something that will just forever stay on the channel and become a meme. But let's look at one other thing, the standings. As you can see, still the standings looking pretty interesting. Not a lot of changes positions-wise. Pretty much the same as we've seen in previous races. No actual changes in position. Still, Ventari lead the Constructors' Championship, not by much, only by 4 points ahead of SCT, who got just one better than them. Just got a little bit better than them over in Brazil. Still a podium for Ventari, still another one. OMB as well with a strong finish. Double points finish, bring them up to 127 points. But VRE took a P3, a podium, and a P8, enough to secure them just 8 points behind third in the championship. FCT also took the win. They become the 5th team to win in lovely season number 6. AZR, bit of a tough finish last week, only P9, slows down their performance from previous weeks. AERT as well, with another decent points finish. ESPL following in that with their worst race of the season, sticking down in 8th in the Constructors. DLX, no points. And XPG scored some points, but still DNFs and retirements proving to be a pretty big struggle for the team so far this season. I have got to say it's been a very big struggle for them. And we are out onto the track, so just give it a second to load because I know it takes a minute. But there we are, out onto the track now, and it is Grants who is first out on track for XPG. We've got a couple of other cars coming out. We've got an AERT and 2 AZRs. Thoughts on toast with butter? Insane. With butter, yes. I don't mind without it, if I'm being honest. I don't mind without it. But with it, I think it's just a bit better. But it depends on the toast. If it's very, burnt, yes. If it's not, and it's quite soft, then I think it's okay without it. Who's that dodgy RB in P2? Insanity. So, let's go on board with XPG Grants as he makes his way to start off qualifying here in the Netherlands for round number 9 of the season. So we head down this pit straight into turn 1. Hard braking, got to get the car turned in. Slightly touching the curb there. Not too much, but so far, not too bad from Grants. Now, up through turn 2. Through into the bank, turn 3. No corner like it on the calendar. Of course, I really don't think there is any other corner like it. Heading his way up the hill now through sector 1. It's going to be a 24.1 for the first sector. Not a great first sector that we've seen. Not the best we've seen so far in the past. Through this middle sector, I always find this middle sector so much harder than the first sector. It's really just nailing the the double right-hander and the left-hander here. If you can't get them linked up together, yes, I know these camera settings are a bit dodgy. I know. Through the hairpin goes Grants. And make his way up through the right-hander. He heads down the pit straight. What lap time is it going to be from Grant? It's going to be a 1:09, 0.098. By the way, I do know that these camera settings are a bit dodgy. That's because it is just on universal. So it works on one one car, which I mostly drive whenever I do. But Botti beats the lap time to a 1:08.480. Then Rayan Camporsi in the FCT finds more time as he goes to a 1:08.333. Not bad for first lap time from himself. Definitely not a bad one. Here comes Pablo. Round the final corner for ESPL as he makes his way up to the line. It's going to be 1:16.5. But Sam Lewis immediately beats that to a 1:08.095. Already into the point zeros on banker laps already. I've got to say, looking pretty quick out there for a couple of drivers. I think we just saw Noah Boza. He just went P2. It goes to a 1:08.111. Exactly, quite a nice lap there. Neo only goes P7 on a slow lap. As Rafiki goes, as Rafiq, F1 specifically, or Rafiki, either one you want to call him. But Rafiq goes to P5, 1:08.5. He's a bit far off his teammate, 4/10 behind, but we do see often there's a bit of a gap. There's always a bit of a gap out on track. Schumacher starting his lap along with his teammate Leggy. So let's see what can Schumacher do on his lap. We know he's got the pace. He's proven in previous seasons. He's got a lot of pace behind him. So let's see what he can do. I think we just saw somebody jump up the order. Antonio gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision. Ooh. No, there is not a restart after qualifying. No restart. There's never a restart. As Cousins Aeneas goes fast for 1:08.013, finding a bit more time. We're getting so close to 1:07.9 already to start off qualifying. And he is pushing. Neo! AZR Neo goes to a 1:07.981, and we're already there. Almost 6 minutes into qualifying, and we're already there. Daniel Hope finds 81 thousandths more of time as he goes to a 1:07.900 for Ventari up to the line. There goes Schumacher. He goes P4. Very interesting. Leggy can't beat that, though. He can only do a 1:08.166. That's all he can do. I've got to say, very impressive from Daniel Hope there in the RB to put in a 1:07.9. A very impressive lap time from himself. We've got his teammate Franek Shazorzni. Can't speak for the life of me, but Franek goes faster to a 1:07.871. And that is not a bad lap time indeed from himself. And that is a 1-2 for Ventari at the moment. They're looking incredibly strong here in the Netherlands. I'm going to be honest, I did not expect to see... I knew Ventari were going to come into this race with something a bit more, than they did in Brazil. They needed this better performance. But if I'm being honest, I did not think we were going to see a 1:07.8 and 0.9 being split by 29 thousandths of a second between their teammates and be P1, P2 on the front row. But you can't say that it is confirmed that they are going to get that, because remember, we saw this in qualifying in Brazil. One of them was quick. Both drivers were very fast. Both drivers were on that front row, and then it all fell apart towards the end of qualifying. SCT Finn is on a lap, but he's going very slowly. Once again, he's going very slowly. He's coming into the pits. We do have Ghosty on his way round. SCT need a big evening. They need to keep up with Ventari, because honestly, if they're not able to keep up with Ventari and they do fall in behind, that could be the reigning champions and the defending champions' luck sort of out the window going into the final two races, of course, across Las Vegas and Japan. You got to take into account that the next two races are two tracks that can be difficult to overtake on. As Ghosty goes P10, it's very close, of course, half a second splitting first to 10th, but it's still a bit of a gap that they don't want to see, especially points-wise. It doesn't matter times, it's very much about position. And here, P10 is not where they want to be, scoring just 4 points as it would stand. Not great. 4 points. Not where I think a team really wants to be. Pablo is starting his lap. Once again, he did a 16.5. Obviously, a slow run from himself. ESPL. They need another big evening again here in the Netherlands. They really do. 33 points so far in 8 races. They need to claw themselves closer to... I mean, to be fair, they really have to claw themselves closer to AERT in front of them, of course, in that 7th place in the Constructors. But I think very much sadly for ESPL, I think it's almost sort of confirmed, stuck in 8th. Same for DLX down in 9th, and I think XPG down in 10th. For them, it's going to be sort of around there. Yeah, tough one. But I think for ESPL, they've got a chance in these last 3 races to maybe claw their way back. But that's if AERT have some bad races. And at the moment, if their race finishes as it does in qualifying, that's the same finish that they had last week. And ESPL's not looking quite close. And across the line, it's 1 minute 9.4, but it's still only 15th and out of the points. Not where you really want to be. At all, not where you want to be. I think we saw Ryan Kaporsi go up to P6. We've got a couple of drivers who are making their way around quickly. Ledgy's making his way round rather quickly. We've got Finn, who's on another lap again. I think we've got Ryan Kaporsi, who's making his way into the pits. And here comes Bourbon Boy, who is on a lap. And across the line, he does a very slow lap. Not really where he wants to be. Sam Lewis improves to a 1 minute 7.994 onto the edge of those positions. That's kind of what you really want there. Onto the edge of the positions. Noah Boza is making his way round. VRE and Noah Boza back-to-back podiums for them. A win and a P3. Hoping for more going into this week. Neo across the line. He comes quite slowly when he comes across the line. Got Danny Proso, who's making his way up. Here comes Cousins Aeneas, who's starting another run. We've got Franek, who's also making his way around. Pablo is into the pits, so he's not doing anything too quickly. Alberto's have had a spin. Very unlucky spin there for himself. Here comes Ledgy, who's coming up to the line. He's improving. He goes to P7. Exactly the same time as teammate Schumacher, by the way. There goes Finn. He goes P8. That's a bit more of what I think SET would be looking for, points-wise, but they're still a bit too far behind on the rest of the grid. Just a little bit too far behind. Here comes Rafiq. He improves by a 10th and goes up to P12, but it's still just lacking. Just that little bit of pace. Ghosty is coming up next. I think then we've got Antonio, who's making his way round. Neo, who's also improving on his lap. Is he going to improve position? He goes! Fastest of all. 1 minute 7.770 is the time that he finds. And that is the time that he would have wanted. And there goes Cousins Aeneas! 1 minute 7.672. We saw Franek improve as he went to a 1 minute 8.48. I think we also... Did Noah Boza come across the line there? I think we saw that he did. Unless he's pushing on this lap again. I'm not sure whether he is or he isn't. So, interesting runs for quite a few. Here comes Schumacher up to the line. How much is he going to improve by? He needs a big improvement. He does. And onto the second row of the grid and ahead of the Ventari duo. Very interesting. And Ethan, you know what, mate? Ethan... No. I'm just going to say no and leave it there. Ghosty, I think, just did a lap, and I don't think he improved there. He stays P11. No improvement for himself. Noah Boza comes into the pits. I think we've got a lot of drivers just slowly making their way round now. Danny Proso as well on his way in. And I think Franek to add on to that. Cousins Aeneas is on his way in. Lots of drivers on their way in. Botti, though, is improving massively on his lap as he goes P6 ahead of his teammate Sam Lewis. And a great lap time from himself there. Exactly what he would have been looking for. Looking around the grid, who is on a fast lap? That's my question. Botti's just finished his. Ghosty's going slowly on his lap. Antonio's going slowly on his lap. The only driver I think actually on a fast lap is Pablo. ESPL looking like they've got another struggle on their hands this week. Same as DLX and XPG, all kind of in a league of their own almost for 14th downwards. Which is not entirely surprising. Bottom 3 in the constructors at the bottom 3 of the grid, but none of them will score points based off the positions where they are. I think that's probably the more painful thing for ESPL is that they've kind of lost their chance really at any really good positions in the championship. Of course, the top 3 achieve money. They get money as a prize pool. Antonio retires, so Antonio feels like his race done. Pablo is going slowly, so no fast run coming from Pablo. But I do think we have one from Alberto. No, we don't. Alberto is also going slowly. Everybody going very slowly at the moment, but I guess we get to watch Pablo one more time. We'll ride on board with him for the final time. Through into the first corner, you can see Aston Martin just not wanting to steer at all. He's really having to throw the car in. Very safe going into turn 3, taking the tight line. He's getting a little bit of slipstream here off of the Ventari in front of him. No improvement, 66 thousandths of a second down, so he's clearly having a bit of a rough first sector as he keeps moving. Into the middle sector, he's going to face bits of traffic. He's got AZR and a VRE coming up next, so he's really having to worm his way through this traffic. Will the AZR driver get out of the way easily? No, he doesn't. He sits on the line slightly, but I think he might just, I think we'll get away with that slightly. Still 59 thousandths of a second down. Needs to find all the time, maybe in this final sector, hopping over the curb. Franek gets a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. That will have to change after after qualifying, so I think we'll be having a restart. Cross line 77 thousandths he improves by, and up, and he stays P16. Give me a second. As we now watch around the grid as drivers make their way round. Who's next across the line? It's going to be Sam Lewis, who's on a slow lap. He's making his way round rather slowly. Franek next. Then it's going to be Finn and Ghosty who make their way round. Then it's Leggy. Then it's Ryan Camporsi who makes his way into the pits. He feels that he's done for today. Noah Boza making his way around. He's going to be the next driver to cross the line as Ball Boy makes it to the line. Rain Kaporsi retires. Here comes Noah Boza across the line. He improves by nearly 0.2 of a second to go P6. Just missing out on P5. So almost there. Pablo slowly making his way around as he's coming into the pits. We've got Schumacher who's also slowly making his way around. As Schumacher improves to go P3 in the end. I do apologise for having to pause there. Neo doesn't improve on his lap. He stays P2. We're watching all around. There goes Sam Lewis to P5. Strong lap for himself. As there goes Franek. Fastest of all, 1 minute 7.656 is the lap time obtained from Franek. Very strong lap indeed. We've got the battle at the back of the grid for position. Finn stays P10 when he crosses the line. Rafik improves, but again stays P13 in the end. Does Noah Bose have another lap in him? No, I don't think he does. Schumacher is making his way around. He is on a flying lap. I think he's one of very few. Maybe I think he's one of two. I think that's probably on still a flying lap as he makes his way round towards the line. Flying around the track at speed. And across the line, he stays P4 on the grid. It's a small improvement, but not enough to gain him any positions. Neo stays P3 when he crosses the line. Daniel Hope just jumps Schumacher to P4 in the end, as Cousins Aeneas confirms his P2 at the line. And there goes Botti to P6. Very strong for himself. Franek is making his way into the pits. As here comes Grant, who's going to cross the line anyway. And that is pretty much everyone on the grid. So we are going to... Yeah, so that is that. So let's go through the grid order. It is Franek on pole, followed by Cousins Aeneas, Neo, Daniel Hope, Schumacher, Botti, Sam Lewis, Noah Boza, Leggy, Finn, Ryan Kaporsi, Goat Ghosty, Rafik, Antonio, Grants, Alberto, Danny Prusso, Pablo, and Bourbon Boy. So yeah, we will be having a restart after this restart. So we are just waiting for the race to start, and then we will be having this restart. So we'll just watch the chaos. just endless chaos. Driving the wrong way. We got some people driving the wrong way. That's a first. That is, I will say, that's very much a first of having drivers go the wrong way on track. I've never seen that before. Just waiting for everybody to retire. There we go. Retired. So, with that, time to get on to the race. We will be doing that in the next as soon as we can. So I've just gotta do the whole custom. I just got to do a whole custom grid and everything. So it is going to take a few minutes to do that in. Which is a bit annoying, but it's all right. Yeah, it's tough to explain. Yes, so we are waiting for the game to finally send us back to the lobby, because it is taking... I hate this like thing of it shows the grid for 30 seconds when everybody wants to move on, and then it gives you another 30 seconds, so it's like a minute long, just to go back to the lobby. Great job, EA. Great job. Top class. So yeah, so we will get onto the grid very shortly. I will show you guys the standings, though, just while I waffle for the next about 10 minutes. This should be a very quick restart. I think the grid's pretty simple. So yeah, so the grid should be pretty simple to do. It won't take long to do the grid. Because of course we haven't got qualifying now. It's just we just gotta sort where everybody is. Yeah. The standings I think are where it's quite interesting. I will say I think the standings are really where the grid has proven to be interesting. I will say I think very much that's where it's been. That's really where it's been interesting, is there, but that's probably just me, though. Who knows? It is probably just me being like, this is so cool, you know. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see how the race goes. Of course, we're just it is here. Face cam is here. It is here. I'm just having to sort the grid. It just looks quite weird if I just like, because I'm squinting to see, because I'm having to look on a ridiculously tiny laptop for how okay, there we go. That's better. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm having to just squint on a tiny ass laptop. I'm just having to sort where everyone is. So yeah, my apologies. I am having to just sort where everybody is. It's really annoying. It's the one driver that's next in the list is not in the lobby, because for some reason people disconnect for the fun of it. Honestly, it drives me insane some weeks. This is one of the things that, like, it is one of, like, the really small but, like, really irritating things that just drives me up the wall. Sometimes it really does. It's just like, don't leave, just be in the lobby. So yeah, so we've almost got everyone in. Honestly, it's so annoying sometimes. Like, again, it is very annoying. Just very often, I find this strangely, like, irritating. That is something I will say. I do find it sometimes irritating. Not like specifically, like, again, this isn't aimed at anyone, like, specifically. So yeah, so we've got the grid done. We're waiting on one driver to join, who will start at the back of the grid, start last and at the back. Yeah, I do apologise, everybody, for the annoyance that this causes. It's so irritating. I can't lie, you guys. I don't know how you guys put up with this on stream, but we're almost ready. Sometimes I do get like a bit annoyed at teams because sometimes I just feel like they don't care. I don't know why. I do get annoyed sometimes. Maybe that's just me. Probably is, but oh my god, where the hell is this one driver? Where's Jay? Jay. Okay. Well, when does the stream start? What do you mean, when does the stream start, mate? I'm literally just I'm just double checking the grid. Like everybody's getting so like, I don't know why people get annoyed at me over this. I'm double checking the grid. Like, I'm just double checking the grid that it's correct. I'm sorry that I'm double checking any grid. But, you know, sorry. Hello, Aziz. Welcome. Great to see you. Yeah. Honestly, drives me insane. Okay. We will be going in about 2 minutes' time. So, well, about a minute now. Yeah, about a minute. So at 38 past. Yeah. Hey, we will get going now. I just had to change Park Ferme. I just had to change Park Ferme. That's all I'm saying. That's why it went off, is because I'm changing Park Ferme. I'm putting it off because if I keep it on, then it will be on, and then nobody can choose setups. So but we are finally going into the race. I do apologize, everybody, for this long ass wait to actually get into tonight's race. We'll go onto the lovely screen. As I'm always going to say to teams and to teams and drivers, if you're late, you're late. That's not my problem. I'm sorry. It's not my problem. It's not my problem if you guys are late. Like, I'm very sorry. You know, again, I'm not trying to be mean to teams. Just like, there's nothing I can really do about it. I'm giving teams 3 minutes to choose their setups. 3 minutes to do everything. They have 3 minutes to do what they need to do. So I'm being very nice. I'm giving them 3 minutes especially because they have to stick on some like the full setups and edit them a bit as well. Because of course we've had a restart. So yeah, that's just me. This race, I think, is going to be interesting because you've got to remember there's a bit of a difference here where you've got 3 minutes for drivers to ready. And somebody's obviously decided they don't want to do that. Great. And we are going. It is 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go here in the Netherlands for FRLT. Season 6, round number 9. It is a good getaway from Franek. Into turn 1 he goes, but already Cousins and Ayers down the inside. He takes the lead of the race. FCT back into the lead, looking for back-to-back victories this week. And already Cousins and Ayers leads once again here in the Netherlands. And it is a great start from FCT as he makes his way towards up the hill now. He goes, his teammate Ryan Kapolsky getting past Ghosty for position, while Rafik drops backwards down to P16 and he keeps on dropping further and further back. It's not going well for himself. There he goes up to P15 once again. He's still battling in this group. He needs to make his way up the order though, because it's not going well. Down the inside goes Rafik, and that looks like it could be P14 as well. There he goes up to P14, but there it goes down the inside, the Ferrari of Antonio. Jesus, he makes the move, and Antonio is up into P14 ahead of the VRE driver. Cousins and Ayers, though, starting to get off into the lead. Not a good start for Daniel Hope straight away. Looking pretty tough. Danny Prusso making sure he stays in front of Antonio for positioning SPL, looking for that one singular point. But he does look like he's struggling a bit off for this start. Doesn't look like he's very happy with the car as of yet. Looking further back, Noah Bozer as well, by the way. He's had a good start. He's gotten ahead of Sam Lewis to get up to P7. So VRE looking like they really want these points over the team of OMB, of course. Whoa, and that's Danny Prusso who's round. And down to P19 in this race. It looks like also Rafik got past Antonio for position. He's gotten up to P13 and back up into the points-paying position. So that is something for VRE to hold on to while ESPL sit at the back of the grid once again this evening. Looking around, it's been a pretty decent start and a great start from Cousins and Ayers and Neo, but I really would have to say I think it was just a really poor start from Daniel Hope there, but he's still on the podium, still P3, P4 for Ventari, still 24 points rolling their way this week, and that would be, of course, enough to hit 200 points after this race, while SET P8, P11, not looking so good, 9 points rolling their way. The gap, of course, 4 points at the moment between first and second. SET behind the championship leaders by just 4 points. And still, it's going to be, you know, take out the 9 points. That's still 15 points. Whoa! Down the inside, Daniel Hope goes. What the hell was that? Honestly, I have no words for what we've just seen there as he topples down to P6. I'm not sure whether that was a dive bomb or that was just I don't even know. I have no clue what we've just seen into turn 1. But he holds on to P6 ahead of Noah Boza. But oh my god, what was that sort of move? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, I've got to say. Very unbelievable. But Leggy, by the way... Oh, Ghosty's having a problem. He's dropped down to P16. Everything's going wrong for SCT. One driver now outside of the top 10. And now only one driver inside. Only one driver in the points, sorry. The other out of the points. Down to P8. Only 6 points for SCT this evening. Which will bring themselves up to 178 points in the Constructors' Championship. But will leave them far behind Ventari. Will this be the night? Last season... SCT was so dominant at the Netherlands, it was considered one of the most dominant races we've ever seen in FRLT. This season, it looks like they're far away from that. Looks like they're not really comfortable at all. As Cousins there still leads away here on to lap 4, 3 laps led, and another 3 laps led for FCT this season, of course. FCT became that 5th team to win a race. AZR, though, are chasing that chance. They're chasing the chance to become the 6th team to win this season in... no assists. I mean, think about it. 9 races, 6 teams to win just proves how close it is. Of course, still, the race win leaders are VRE. 3 wins from them in round 1, round 5, and I think round 1, round 3, and round 5, I think they won. Round 7. I think it was round 1, round 5, and round 7 that they won in. So they've actually had a really strong run of victories for VRE this season. But still, 4th in the Constructors. We've never had a team have the most wins in a season, but not win the Constructors' Championship. So this season is looking very different from what we've seen before. It's looking strange, but that dive bomb from Daniel Hope is going to be very questionable on just why. Why even try to make that sort of move? At the point that he did. You know, what was even the point from Lumi? But here comes Rafik on Antonio. He jumps up to P12 in this race, but he's 2 seconds away from P11. But still, double points for VRE, but not going as well as it did last week for them. Looking at the positions, you can see there. Tyres, everybody's on mediums except Antonio on the soft tyres, which is a very strange choice, and Alberto on the hard tyres. So very odd from DLX. Strategy-wise, I've got to say a very, very strange strategy we've seen from DLX this week in the points. But those soft tyres for Antonio, they're not going to last long. We can already see they're starting to struggle. They might reach maybe lap 8 if they're lucky. If DLX are lucky, really lucky, lap 8. And I mean, in a race this long, that's not a great idea. In a race this incredibly long. You know, that's not even a quarter of tonight's race. You know, that's the worst part of it, is that it's not even a quarter of tonight's race that they'd be getting through on those soft tyres. But onto lap 6 goes Antonio. Even if they do reach a quarter of the race before having to go onto hard tyres for the next half of the race. Before having to stop, they've definitely committed to that 2-stop strategy at DLX. But again, Franick chasing now that race lead. He seemed quite quick in qualifying, hasn't seemed that quick since. Noah Boza having a bit of a tough evening at the moment. I'd say he's not the best in qualifying, 8th in qualifying, compared to his 5th last week. And he's in 7th. He's gained a place off the start, but that's all he's been able to do. He's not been able to get anywhere closer, and especially while their rivals, OMB, are scoring more points. 7 points for Noah and 2 for Rafik. 9 points for VRE this evening, and it looks like for OMB, it's going to be 11, and then on top of another 3, so 14. 5 points gained for OMB. Remember, they're 8 points in the lead, so another 5 points make it 13 points in the lead, and almost bring VRE back to where they were before even Brazil. That's the worst thing, I think, for VRE at the moment. Is they're sitting in a position where they're in a worse position than they were before Brazil. And that's just really what they didn't need here in the Netherlands. I will say Rafik, not a good qualifying. He's had a good comeback. Had a bit of a tough start, but made it through. But still, I think for him, he's dropped too far behind, over 3 seconds behind P11. And I think very much he's now going to be stuck in this group till the end of this race. Same as Ghosty. At the back of this group in P16, he's also having a very troublesome evening on those medium tyres. Getting stuck on the curbs just did not help him at all, and doesn't help SET at all in their championship campaign. Just notice though, Cousins and Ace starting to pull away from Neo. He's got that 8/10 of a gap. He's starting to find bits of time here or there. As there goes, I think that's Daniel Hope. Hope's in the pits, and so is Noah Boza. Very early for the medium tyres to run out. There we go. Onto lap 8 we go, and we've already seen the first stops of the evening and onto the hard tyres. Is this a massive undercut? Are we looking at an undercut here from these guys? I have no clue. I have no clue whether we're seeing an undercut. I don't know what we're seeing from Ventari, VRE, and OMB, SEC, and ESPL. As Franick has just had a bit of a moment because he's just dropped behind Botti and Schumacher. Are the medium tyres already worn by lap 8? Lap 8 and already worn on the tyres, already going to be stopping in this race. We might, this looks like it will definitely be a 2-stop race if this is how early most of these drivers are stopping already. I mean, it's worrying. Are we going to see Cousins Aeneas come in to the pits? No, he's not. He's going long. But we're seeing other drivers pull in. AERT and Ventari think it's time to come in. So does Ray and Camporsi. Some drivers staying out, though. Very mixed, I think, it looks like, in opinion on stopping on the pit stops. Even DLX are following in. Double stop, actually. Double stop from DLX this evening. Can they pull off the double stop? Just about. I don't think really that's gone well for them. But Noah Boza, he's just comes out in front of Franick. So he's actually found a lot of time. He's gained about 1.5 seconds to get ahead of Franick, Rayan, and Leggy. So that's a really big chunk of time. And for Noah, that is perfect for VRE to find themselves in this position, because now Schumacher is going to have a problem with how much quicker these hard tyres are. I mean, we're seeing the gaps come down massively. The head of the group, Daniel Hope, has now caught up to Pablo in the ESPL. You can see it's very slippery, but there goes, oh my God, there goes Noah Boza going for a move on Daniel Hope. He's using the DRS, he's using everything he's got. He's really giving a tough race for, whoa, and onto the gravel goes Noah Boza. Look at this! Battling through the final sector. And that was very, very close. Noah Boza chasing after a chance. He's chasing after everything he's got. He really wants this position ahead of Daniel Hope. He hasn't even got DRS, but he's using his battery to stay in front of Franick. And he's going to hold on to this P9 for now as more drivers come into the pits. Sam Lewis drops down to P13. You can see this 1 or 2 lap undercut is absolutely massive on these tyres. But Noah Boza really getting in there against the rest of the grid. But Franick looking for a way past the VRE. He's still unable to get past this RB at any cost. You could just see he's just waiting for the opportunity. He knows, I think he definitely knows he is quicker. Down the inside he goes. Whoa! Contact with Noah Boza. And I don't think Noah Boza is going to be particularly happy about that one. They're still there. Front wing still just behind. And in the end, Noah Boza drops down to P10. I'm not sure whether this has come from just sort of just a domino effect from the battle with Lumi, with Daniel Hope, sorry. I'm not sure whether it's come from that or what. I have no clue. But we can see more drivers into the pits now. Even more drivers made their way into the pits. Here comes Noah Boza down the inside once again on Daniel Hope. He's wanting the position. Daniel Hope locking 3 wide. Oh my god, Daniel Hope goes off. Now battling with Ryan Kaporsi. Noah holds on to P7. Oh my god. Damage to the front wing, by the way, of Daniel Hope there. He's lost a bit of his front wing end plate, so I'm not sure where that's come from. Very interesting to see. I'm not sure where this has come from. It looked like tyre locking. From my opinion, it looks like there's been some tyre locking there. But I don't know. I'm not sure, if I'm being honest. I'm really not sure. We saw what Daniel Hope did earlier with the massive dive bomb. So I'm not sure whether that was just tyre locking or what that was at all. As there goes Ryan Kaporsi past Noah Boza for position. As we see Grant retires from the race. XPG suffering another retirement this season. I don't think they've gone a race without one. But now Ryan Kaporsi leads away. And there goes Rafiq into the pits. As we watch all the drivers make their way down. See Lumi's driving. Lumi looks like he's driving very aggressively at the moment. He's been very aggressive all there this evening in pace, but all there in aggression as well. Very aggressive driving from Daniel Hope, indeed. I think he's possibly raising a couple of eyebrows with some people because I think that turn one, of course, can be very decisive, might even come in. As I think Ventara will really be hoping he won't be getting a penalty for that. I think they'll be really hoping that there won't be any penalty coming his way. But same for VRE. We'll have to see with the tyre locking situation between Noah Boza and Daniel Hope. But also Ryan Kaporsi got in there, so 3 wide. I'm not sure whether it was Ryan Kaporsi diving up the inside or whether it's tyre locking. I'm not really sure. I don't think the angle that we got really showed anything between the 3 drivers. So we might be waiting to see, but we have got something else going on. We have got Finn trying to get past Sam Lewis. Finn going around the outside. But Sam Lewis had that inside line. It's so strong. This track still on the inside. Whoa, very tight there between Finn and Sam Lewis. But Finn up to P10. SCT pulling themselves back up a little bit into this race, but still not exactly where they want to be. Indeed, still they want to be higher up, far behind Ventari as it stands. Currently would be 16 points versus 6, so 8 points lost in the championship, down to 12 points behind the championship leaders. That's going to be very tough for them. But Neo still leads. I've got to say, Neo is stretching these medium tyres, same as Schumacher, incredibly far into this race. Not caring about the undercut, just caring about getting as far as he can. Definitely we're going to see a one-stop from these guys. Lap 14 of 36, still 22 more laps to go over this race. I think we're going to see maybe the next 2 to 3 laps. We're going to see it as Sam Lewis speeds into the pit lane and retires from the race he's done. Second retirement. AERT suffer another retirement this season as well. Not looking good for themselves at all. I've got to say, Botti's having a rather quiet race here. He's fit in between Frenick and Cousins Aeneas, and he's just chilling in this P4 here. Not really having any rush. He's got a big gap behind. He's got a big gap in front. And I think he's just chilling in this P4 for now. Very much just chilling here. Still, I think there are going to be some questions over Daniel Hope from tonight's race, because I must say, 3 weeks now from Ventari, some questionable moments and some questionable driving. I'm not gonna say that, oh, it's entirely wrong. I'm not gonna say anything like that here on stream, of course, but I think to any teams involved, and I think, especially for Ventari as well, I think it's not a good showing. You know, we had Zach Miles last week. He did get a post-race penalty from the stewards, and he had a couple of questionable moments last week. Same as the previous week, I think, from Zach Miles as well. So back-to-back weeks, and of course this week now with Daniel Hope. It's just kind of, I think for Ventari, it's to some degree, I think, summing up their campaign slightly, that it's at times been very clean and messy, but it's been such a change. The first 5 races of their season, incredibly clean and very good. But then in these last sort of 3 races, round 6, 7, and 8, and then round 9, of course, here, so 4 races. You know, in the last 4, you know, I think it's gotten quite a bit more messy for Ventari, and I think because it's gotten more messy and more mistakes, I think Ventari have kind of lost what lead they could have had. And it's clearly giving a bad effect on them, because you can almost feel the pressure at Ventari to win this. And especially in a position this race where SET is so far behind, it just doesn't help. You know, it just does not help at all that these guys aren't performing the way they want to, I guess. You know, I think it's very clear that, you know, there's some days where there's good performance, and then there's other days where there are some worries, I think for me, watching them this season, there's some worries in recent races that these mistakes are really destroying their championship. Somebody's just had a bit of a moment. That's Ghosty, I think, who's just had a bit of a moment again, as he drops now over 5 seconds behind. I've got to say also, Rafik, by the way, catching up massively to Antonio. He's caught by about 2 seconds in the last 4 laps, so he's got a lot more pace, about half a second a lap at the moment, quicker than Antonio. Remember, around the Netherlands, you only need about 2 to 3 tenths. Noah Boza, by the way, gets past Ryan Kaporsi for P4, but they're still battling out of turn 1. In the end, it's a smooth move for Noah Boza, and on for P4 in tonight's race. Noah Boza turning around his qualifying into this race, and it's an important thing to do, I think, for VRE. We've mentioned about Ventari, we've mentioned about SET, the championship leaders. We haven't hugely mentioned about the championship battle between VRE and OMB at the moment in the Constructors' Championship. VRE is on 119 points in 4th, and OMB in 3rd in that prize pool position, where they will receive some money in that 3rd place, on 127 points. So, you know, there is that 8-point gap. At the moment, it's looking, I'm not entirely sure how it possibly goes. There goes Danny Prusso, who decides to retire from this race, 3rd retirement of the evening. But VRE, they've got 11 points with Noah. They've also got 2 points with Rafik at the moment. So if we were to base it off of P4 and P12, you know, you got 13 points there for VRE. If you were to just base it off of, and then if you look at OMB though, P7, 7 points, and then another 5. So 12 points. So it's only 1 point gained for VRE against OMB. So down to 7 points in the championship, which is just not a gap that they need to close. You know, they need to close it more. And I think for VRE, the bigger thing here is getting that championship closed down to, you know, to leading out of the Netherlands, taking 3rd. OMB, big mistake from Leggy though. In some ways, I was going to say for VRE, they hope that some of these drivers like SET can get past the OMB drivers to reduce the points, and that's just happened, as we've seen. And that's another point lost for OMB, now down to 11 points in their evening. They're losing 2 points now, so they'll be down to 6 points in the lead of the championship. In the lead of 3rd, 6 points in 3rd. And there goes, I think, Leggy's letting his teammate go by, but he's got another car behind him. There goes Neo down the inside of Leggy for P9. And in the end, that's not really worked out for OMB. That's really not worked out for OMB. I've really just notice that 10 points now in total. They've just dropped another point because Neo was able to get past. So it's just, oh my god, I don't know how they've just dropped 2 points in the space of a minute of me talking about them. Maybe it's just the commentator's curse. Ghosty is back into the pits. He's coming out of the pits now, P12. There goes Schumacher, past Finn for P7. So that's a bit better. Finn struggling a little bit, I think, in P8. Of course, as these hard tyres wear slowly over time. I've got to say, Daniel Hope also struggling with that front wing damage. He's almost 2 seconds behind P4 and P5 of Rayan Campolsi and Noah Boza. So we're waiting to see how these guys are going to do. Daniel Hope making his way around. He's going to have to do a lot of defending here because here comes Schumacher. Schumacher makes his way past. I think there's going to be one. I don't think even just one. I was going to say 3. But I think that's going to be 2 drivers who are going to get past Daniel Hope. And for Finn here, it's a big move. But look at this. Daniel Hope's really battling Finn. Through into turn 3. He has got that front wing end plate damage. But he's also got that slight bit of edge of straight line speed. We know Ventara have been a bit stronger on straight line speed this evening. And look at this. Whoa! And big contact between Neo and Daniel Hope. Daniel Hope losing 3 places in just over a sector. That is insane. 1 sector and 3 places lost for Daniel Hope. And I think he's about to make that a 4th place lost for himself, as he's most likely going to drop behind Leggy in a moment as well. Not looking great for Ventari Championship. Maybe starting that championship gain a little bit falling apart now with those very immature mistakes, I'd say, from Lumi, from Daniel Hope, also known as Lumi. That's why I keep on calling him Lumi, by the way, to everybody, because that's what he was called before. But Franick now makes his way in. So is his teammate. Both Ventaris are in, choosing that earlier stop. Interesting to see from Ventari. An early stop. Are they going to get a clean? They get a clean-ish double stop, but there's a front wing change anyway. At Ventari, they've got the time. You can just see they've got tons of time. P11 for Dan. You'll hope now. Down quite far. Is it even going to be P11? No, it's not. He's actually going to go behind Ghosty as well. Oh, that's not good. I think Dare Philippe's hoping to get in front of the SCT driver as opposed to being behind him. Cousins and Air still strongly leading tonight's race. Very strongly leading. Schumacher, by the way, gets past Noah Boza for position. And that's a nice move there. I think a swift move. And for OMB, it's important to stay in front of VRE in the championship, and this is exactly what they needed. I think we're seeing some other pit stops coming from drivers as Ryan Caporsi and Cousins Aeneas, race leader, pulls into the pits. Double stops hitting a couple of teams at the moment. A little bit slower on the stop, but it's going to have to just about do. Still not the best. Still not where you'd want it to be. Interesting. Double stop from Ventari. Double stop now from FCT. Who else are we going to see coming in? Bossy now leads this race. I have to say, what's interesting is ART. No wins this season. No poles. No fantastic performances like we saw last season. I think they did capture a win, I think, if I remember correctly, or multiple podiums this season. They've not really been able to capture that same luck. They've kind of sat in this mid-pack this sort of mid-pack division in the tier. You know, you've kind of got at the top, you've got Ventari and SCT who have kind of been on their own on average across the season. Then you've had OMB and VRE who are occasionally there, but mostly battling with each other. You've got FCT who have been very much a team that I think most would agree have been on their own in the championship. Nobody's kind of been really close enough to kind of... They've not been close enough to the teams in front, but they've also nobody's been close enough to them to really pose a threat. I think they know 5th in the constructors is where they're going to be by the end of the season, unless they start having 1-2 finishes, of course. But I think they know that that's kind of where they're sitting. I think, you know, this, you know, I think you've got AZR in there as well. Got AZR in that sort of spot as well, who's sitting around the same, you know, they're just behind FCT, but they're also on their own a bit. You know, some races they do well, some races they do quite poorly. Last race wasn't a great race for them, but still with some points. We see the same with AERT, we see the same with the ESPL. You know, ESPL's start to their season was much better than what they've had in the last sort of 5 races. So it's a tough one, I would say. I think it's a very tough one. Like, sort of, I'd say it's quite tough to sort of describe how that is. But closest battle on track is actually Noah Boza. As there goes Botti past Franick for position. Noah Boza's closed up to Ryan Camporsi for P8. Botti, though, past Franick. Ventari's worrying me slightly. You know, when it comes down to performance, I think very much Ventari worrying me when it comes down to performance, because they're not looking great. I'd say for Ventari, it's been an up and down season. I think the biggest problem that they've had is their swapping. They, at the start of the season, first race or two, qualifying was usually better than the race. Then it changed to the race was better than the qualifying. And now it's changed back to the qualifying's better than the race. But of course, it's very different because only 1 point can be gotten in qualifying from pole versus, you know, 36 points or 35 points, sorry, that could be gotten from the race. So it's very, very different. It's a massive difference. Indeed, I do think it's an absolutely huge difference. And there goes Noah Boza down the inside of Ryan Camporsi for P6. He's been battling with him before this second set of stops, and he's battling with him once again. But it looks like Noah Boza has a little bit more pace on this occasion than he had on the previous one. So, interesting to see indeed. Also, I just want to say something to everybody just quickly. Well, there's not a huge amount as Neo goes for lead of the race again, swapping for that position. The drive to survive, to survive, I guess series for FRLT. That's what I called it. It's not going to be called that, of course, but it's essentially that. I do apologise for the massive delays that has faced. I'm very low on time at the moment for it, and I did right. This is I think the painful thing. 2 weeks ago, I got midway through it, and all of the files, all of the content I put together for it, had been corrupted. All of it was corrupted. So, essentially, I'm having to start from scratch again. I've got all of the streams and everything, but I'm having to start from scratch, essentially. And because I've gotten lower on time, I've sadly not been able to do it, which I do apologise to everybody for that. I've just not had the time to restart the whole thing. So it is a little bit of a delay. It will be February. It will be half term. So if you live in the UK, half term, so mid-Feb, we will have it out. I just very much have no time at the moment to put together the whole series by then. So apologies to everyone for all of these technical and just horrific issues, as Noah Boza re-overtakes Ryan Camporsi for P6 in this race. Interesting position Rafik has found himself in. Another pit stop out the way. Chosen to go to the medium tyres for a long stint. But He's 5 seconds away from Antonio in front, and if we look at the penalty-wise, he will get in front of Antonio, but he won't get in front of Goat Ghosty, who's about 12 seconds in front of him. So for Rafik, he's got a long way to go to catch. And I don't think he will catch, of course. I think Goat Ghosty, I don't think he's going to be able to catch 9 seconds in 10 laps. I think if he did, that would probably be one of the most impressive moments of the season. And I think most people could agree it would be one of the most impressive moments that we've seen all season long. But I guess we'll see. Still, Neo and Schumacher staying out longer. Franek gets back past Bossy. But Cousins and Ace, the man who's led all of, most of tonight's race, is caught back up to the top two, Schumacher and Neo. I do feel like for Schumacher and Neo now, they're kind of stuck on this issue, in this massive problem. If they stop, if they stop, you know, they've been on those tyres since lap 15. If they stop in this race, then they'll drop far down. They'll drop way down. But if they don't stop, they'll just get overtaken by half the grid anyway. So I think that's the question. Which way do you want to go? If it was me, I would probably stop in this race. I'd probably just take the pit stop. As Alberto lets pass more cars. This guy, I think, has been lapped now by drivers down to P10 in this race. He's been lapped by so many drivers. It's unbelievable, some of these gaps, like Pablo as well, who's is inching closer to getting lapped in this race. He most likely will get lapped. He's got front wing end plate damage as well. So not great. Bourbon Boy also sitting in the same issue. He's got the same problem of getting lapped. Cousins and AS, though, still yet to get past either of the front two. Maybe he's just waiting and trying to not risk it. He has got a good cushion back to the cars behind over 5 seconds. So it's not like he's losing huge amounts of time if he doesn't get on with it. Same for this P6, P7 positions of Rayan and Noah Boza. They're both sitting in the same situation here, that they've got a big cushion back, 4 seconds back to Finn, but they're 6 seconds away from the two in front of them. So they're kind of sitting at this point where it's like, you could try, you don't have to. You just work sort of together and make sure the guys behind don't catch up. That's kind of where we're seeing a lot of the grid. Daniel, shut up, man. Honestly, I will ban AZR from FRLT. I will actually ban you guys just for using that. Actually, I might not even ban you. I might just send you a 400-point deduction for next season, for this season and next season. As Franek once again makes his way past into P4. Every time Daniel, I literally just showed the tire ages, man. Holy. Top two on the oldest tires, 15 laps old on those tires. They've done half the race, by the way, on those tires. And there goes Rafik, who gets past Antonio in the end easily, as Antonio is in the pits. But the top two on very old tires, then it's Zaneas behind, then it's Franek, then it's Bossy, Noah Boza, Rayan Kaposi, Finn, Leggy, and Daniel Hope, who are the top 10 at the moment. So, have to wait and see how that goes. On to lap 30 though, and we're going to get on to lap 31 very shortly. And I think we're going to be starting off lap 31 with a move. Here comes Cousins Aeneas. Getting close, getting close, getting closer. Whoa! And massive contact with the back of Schumacher there. Are we going to see a three-way fight for the lead? Whoa! Botti goes off. And it's a big mistake. How much time has he lost? I just want to see how much time. Whoa! 1.2 seconds lost in that one mistake. That is a really big mistake to make at the wrong time. Massive mistake to make. And he has gained back 2 tenths, but still a second lost to P6. That's another mistake like that could wipe him out of this race, but he cannot break late like that again. AERT, though, I think might be on for their best finish of the season, if I'm correct. I think they're heading their way for their best finish of the season of P5. I mean, I think they've gotten a P6 finish. They haven't gotten higher than P6. So another 10 points for AERT, up to 55 points. Doesn't get them closer to AZR. Doesn't get them closer to anyone. Bit of a mistake coming from Schumacher, by the way, and has allowed Cousins and Ace to get right up close behind. Is he going to send it? Is he going to go for the move? Whoa! And onto the grass! Cousins and Ace. He tries a second time and is unable to make the move. You gotta start to ask the question: how many times is he going to try that same move before he actually stops trying? Before he changes up his strategy, because he's done it back-to-back laps now, and it hasn't worked. Here comes Cousins and Ace up the hill. Whoa, very little room around the outside. Goes Cousins and Ace, and up into P2. I think we know where he's going to go. FCT might be taking their second win this evening. At this rate, Cousins and Ace has the pace to do it. And the tyres, whoa, and a big slide from Schumacher. You can also see Neo is the only driver left in the way of Cousins and Ace. It's been a dominant evening from the FCT driver. The gap, though, has shrunk a lot from 5.5 seconds. It's down to 2.6 now, by the way. So it's shrunk down to about 3 seconds between him. So another 2 seconds lost. Ryan Camporsi, by the way, gets past Botti. Has Botti made another mistake? Yes, he has. Or he's disconnected. I think he's disconnected. Oh, my God. AERT's evening. From great to horrific. It is very much, instead of rags to riches, it is very much riches to rags. That is the perfect way of summing up AERT's day. Oh my God. No words for AERT. Absolutely no words. Neo still leads. It's pretty impressive from Neo right now. I've got to invite Botti back to the lobby. Again, I do get like... no. Botti is invited. Finn now gets past. I think we're going to see a lot more people get past now. There goes a couple more drivers. I've got to give it to Rafiq at the moment. He's doing an absolute brilliant job at the moment. He's brought that gap down by another 2 seconds to Ghosty in front in the last 3 laps. So he's really dragging this time down. He's not going to get within 6 seconds, but still bringing it down by 25% isn't bad. Indeed, isn't bad at all. 3 laps to go of this race. Let's see who is going to go where. Will it be AZR to be the 6th team to win in no assists this season? Will FCT take back-to-back victories and be the first team to do it? Who knows? Brilliant job. He's in P12. No, what? I don't mean the position. I mean bringing down the gap. No. I mean bringing down the gap. I don't... Daniel, you're such a strange guy, honestly. Honestly, bro. You're so strange. AZR heading down. Pit straight. Here comes Cousins and Ace. Trying to go round the outside. Trying. Neo's holding on as much as he can. Whoa. Very, very close from Neo. He's tried it. Everything he could. Botti's now in the pits. I think we're going to see another retirement this evening, possibly. No? Maybe. I don't know. But look at this. Still going at it. Neo, I think, is really just backing up Cousins and Ace as much as he can. I'm not even sure why. Neo's doing everything he can. The penultimate lap. It's all coming down to this. Another lap and a half is all Neo needs to win this race. And it's all Cousins Aeneas has to also win. Look at this. He's trying. Oh! In the wall! Cousins Aeneas! He goes off in the wall! What has happened there? Oh my god! Cousins Aeneas. Oh my holy god. That is a first. Whoa. We can see some more battling, by the way, between Noah Boza, Ryan Kapulsi. I mean, whoa. I have no words. It's the final lap of the race, and I have no words. It looks like it might be Neo's race to win, but it depends on post-race. I am going to point this out. It very much depends on post-race, because it depends whether it was not room given or whether it was just too opportunistic. It's a third time you've seen Cousins Aeneas try a dive bomb around the outside. It's the third time that we've tried to see a move. I have no clue. I have no clue indeed. But heading round the final corner, AZR, for the first time this season, will become the 6th team to win in no assist this season in the Netherlands at FRLT season number 6. Franek finishes 2nd, Schumacher 3rd, and we can see drivers dropping through the order, going up and down, and Cousins Aeneas retires from the race. So it'll be P9 from Cousins Aeneas. He will hold on to that, but oh my holy. Indeed, holy. Very, very interesting one indeed from everybody. I have no words for what we've just seen. These last couple laps, I don't even know. I think Botti also just gets the fast lap as well, so he takes an extra point. Absolutely no words for what we've seen. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It is difficult to see from, like, that's why I always say, like, we didn't even see, like, we only saw it once he was in the wall, by the way. That's all we saw. So I do just want to point that out, that is literally all we saw, was just him in the wall. So we can't even but yeah, interesting one. Interesting indeed. Very interesting evening, I think, from everyone. I think it just proves how the season is getting and how the championship is getting sort of more desperate. Teams getting more desperate to just get those couple of points. But we'll wait and see. So let's have a look. It is Neo who wins in the Netherlands, followed by Franek, then Schumacher, then Ryan Compulsi, Noah Boza, Finn, Leggy, Daniel Hope, Goat Ghosty, Rafik, Botti, Tonio, Bornboy, Cousins Aeneas, Pablo, Alberto, and then the retirements being Danny Prusso, Sam Lewis, and Grant. Of course, I think Cousins Aeneas finishes 9th in the end, from what I remember. So, with that, it is time to get on to something else. It's time for the interviews. It's time for interviews. We have a couple of people in for the interviews. Oh my god, we don't need 4 people in the interviews. Daniel, if you're watching this, I'm only taking 2 people into the interview. We're not having 4 people all in the interview. Yeah. Who am I gonna bring in? I've got a great decision. I've got 4 people. Take Ethan and Job. Okay. I'll take Ethan. Ethan. Give me a second. I sure.
Oh,
Hello. Welcome.
you proud of me on my win?
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Your job, it was Verts.
Oh, nice. Where's on fire?
So,
Yeah.
first question. How does it feel
Wait.
to finally win something?
Bro, it was Neo. It was not Job, it was Neo.
What? No. Okay. No. Daniel said Ethan and Job.
Neo
Oh,
as well.
okay.
Okay,
That's
sure.
what Daniel said in the chat.
I guess.
But Neo drove. We did not drive.
I guess
Anyway.
this lad just cannot spell Neo, and he just went Job. You know what? Next time, you know what? We should just change your name, Job. We should just change your name into Job Application, and just scare Daniel.
Right.
Yo, and
Oh,
don't
man.
ever say anything about me making 6-7 jokes again after that.
Yeah, I will. You know what? AZR lose their win, disqualification.
Okay.
Yeah, gone, just gone. But yeah, so good win. How does it feel to actually win for once? Something.
We won last time around though. We won with Chalice.
I'll just leave it.
But yeah, it feels good to win an NA, I guess. I think Neo is I don't think he's won for the team earlier, so this is first win, and he's waiting. He deserves it, and he's waiting for it for a long time. So yeah, it's really good.
Second question: Do you feel like fifth in the championship? There's a chance for it now.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, we're winning it.
You know what?
Stop,
You know
stop,
you,
stop.
you know what? Championship. You know what? Ventari, nah. SEC, nah.
They got
Hey,
nothing on us.
today, mate. You know, see,
They got nothing on us. Daniel Hope
Yeah.
guy.
Who's that Daniel Hope guy? Never heard of him.
Never heard of the guy.
Never heard of a
Never.
dive bomb? Daniel Hope invented it. That is
No, you know
that
we
is
love
what I've
him, but
seen.
I'm not-
I have seen
Yeah.
tweets of it. Don't Ventari, I'm not making fun of you guys. I've seen a tweet saying that.
No, a lot of respect for Ventari.
Nah, he's a good driver, obviously,
Yeah,
but obviously
that
he used
man
to
is
race for
quick.
us, so we can't not say anything.
I can't
Yeah.
I can't chat about pace, but I can say that dive bomb was something.
Questionable. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I know I'm just gonna see a report about it. I just know. But my
One thing I
final.
would like to say,
Yeah,
Epic.
what?
I think we're underestimating how well Schumacher and Neo work together to hold back the guys on the 2-stop, because I raced this track not long ago, and it's so hard to save tires on the 1-stop, and Schumacher and Neo work together so well just to keep that gap, to keep Zane behind. And then obviously what happened on the second to last lap was a bit dodgy, but honestly, if it wasn't for Schumacher, then we would not be in this call right now. So
Yeah.
True.
One final question. Do you think this is a sort of a step forward from how the rest of your season's been, or do you feel like this was just something that you knew was going to happen at some point this season?
The only way is up. The only way is up.
yeah, like Job said, we're winning the championship, so no
Yes.
stress.
Next season, you're last. You're just 10th. You're like, the only way is
Okay.
up. If I turn the standings upside down.
We're winning assists and NA this season. That's what happens when we do.
Total domination.
Oh,
Give us the money already. I don't know if there's any money on the line. Give us the money already.
oh. I could just see Job just being like, bro, give me money. you know what?
Yeah.
Don't pay the drivers. Don't pay yourself. Just give me the money. I'm the sole reason
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah. That was actually Job in Neo's car, just different name.
Yeah, it was just you know what? Job was just engineering himself. He was just like he was so good. He was looking at the data while he was driving.
Yeah.
You should do. You should get every single team in like race VCs, and then you can join everyone's VC mid-race and do like mid-race interviews.
Or I could just scare the hell out of them and scream down the microphone. just their driver crashes. It's like,
Yeah.
commentator's curse. It's something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me in the interview, because Sadly.
Thanks for having us again.
Yeah.
See you next week on Wednesday when we win NA and
Yeah.
assist.
And yeah, just see you next week twice,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not first in either, but okay.
Okay. I guess.
I guess.
See you soon, mate.
See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you.
Have a good one.
So with that, that is the interviews. That didn't turn out to be really an interview, just turned out to be jokes. But yeah. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. That is that tonight. I'm gonna be honest. How do I explain it? It's such a strange one today. I think today's race just proves that it's not entirely straightforward. That even the best of teams still have their off weeks, and still can't always win. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also click on the notification bell. It's about all the content we do, from short streams and videos that we've been posting recently. Make sure to go and watch those. Also make sure to go and follow us on Twitter. Also big shout out to our affiliates VRE and Motorsport Connect. With that, thank you guys so much. We'll be back again on Wednesday for round number 10 of the season at Las Vegas. And same for No Assist next Saturday, so make sure to join us then. But with that, thank you guys so much. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
Feel like we're falling away. Maybe I just need to feel nothing to make it easier to turn away and leave. Maybe we're fanning the flame. So why do I keep holding out my hand to get burned? I don't wanna clash anymore. I can hear the ghosts in the walls. It's telling me to run away, away, yeah. I don't wanna crash anymore. I can hear the ghosts in the walls. It's telling me to run away.
Here in Monza, and it is a race opening victory for Eve. I'm still battling with Kuba.
You said you don't know me well, but I'm your angel in white. I'll be close if you come. I'll be just behind you. You're not on the list, but I can get you inside. Use your mind, listen to my voices and guide you. You give yourself over, yeah, you don't wanna fight. If you do, I'm gonna bid you
But he's gone wide! He's going incredible!
Take it, you're doing alright. And if you don't trust it, hold it up to the light. so quiet, try to hide it. If a new thought formed, we would swallow it down. Empty stares, never question the illusion. If you play alone, they will leave you to drown. Stand up, 'cause we are the movement. Don't stop, straight into the dark. Wake up, 'cause this is the moment, and every fire starts with a spark. A revolution. Stand up, 'cause we are the movement. Don't stop, straight into the dark. Wake up, 'cause this is the moment, and every fire starts with a spark. A revolution.
Feel like we're falling away. Maybe I just need to feel nothing to make it easier to turn away and leave. Maybe we're fan and flame.